Okay, guys. So now we know how to set up long-term lines. I'm pretty sure that should be very clear. I don't know what just happened in the world. I'm gonna go back. Sorry about that. So we've set up long-term resistance and support lines. But whatever you do in the long term, you got to make sure you do that in the short term because in the reality of things, I mean, most of us are not going to be trading over a period of years. So it's great that you've gotten a overall perspective of what's happening, but now it's time to zoom into what's happening in the more current times. So at this point, what we want to see is that the last thing that happened was that it hit a support line, and it should be going on the momentum towards upwards. But then you can see it's going downwards. I mean, really, what you want out of these long-term resistance lines is just that you want to see if it's broken it or not. So let's say let's say we go back here and it's 2014, and we saw that it actually broke this line, and now it's starting to go up a little bit more. Then you know that it has momentum to start going up a lot more. So that's kind of what, like, you kind of just want to have an overall perspective of what's happening right now. This is currently just within our long-term resistance and long-term resistance and support lines. So nothing crazy really happening currently. But you want, okay, so now that we've gotten an idea of this, you kind of want to just go into the more recent time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up resistance and support lines in the more recent chart. So this is the 4-hour. Okay, so what common peaks and troughs can we see? Okay, so all right, I'm gonna put, so now what the tool I like to use for this one is the horizontal ray, just because I don't want to create a whole line, for something that hasn't happened. I don't want to create a whole long line to go to the beginning of the chart for something that's happening recently. So what this does is actually just creates a line all the way from this point all the way to the right. So I can see this right now. As time goes on, you guys will be able to identify this better. But look at this. Look at this line right here. So I'm going to put a line right here. Okay? Now look at this. It broke down here, but then it hit this and bounced right back down. And it finally broke it again. But then if you fast forward over here, look at it. It bounced right off this line as well, broke right through it, and then it kind of touched here. You see what I'm saying? This is definitely a resistance and support line. Because this line, you can see a lot of resistance and support is happening here. There's some support happening here because it bounced right off of it. This one, just like this, was resistance because it couldn't go up above it. Right over here, there's some resistance here. It couldn't go above it. This one's resistance over here. It couldn't go above it and bounce right back down. So you can see it touches it a couple times. This is a pretty good line. So what I did actually was I started selling this because I noticed that it hit this line earlier and just started shooting back down. I was like, okay, this is a good sell. Yeah, I can put another one maybe right here. Put another one like right here. Yeah. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right, I can put another one like right here. Okay, so can you see this one bounced off a little bit right then and finally broke right through it? And then you can see there's also some resistance over here as well. This couldn't really go above this red line. That's a pretty good one. Okay, and then I'm gonna probably go into the hourly chart and see if I can make some there too. Let's see if we can find any major peaks, troughs, or major resistance and support. Let's see. This might be a stretch. Let's see right here. It kind of touched it twice here. It touched it twice. So you could keep that there. It's pretty decent. I'd keep another one like around here, because you can see this one right here. This is what we call a double bottom, but I'm going to show you guys shapes a little later. And you can see it's bouncing off this support line, and then it also broke right through it. That's pretty good. And then it just like hit this and started bouncing back down. This one broke right through it. Over here, it broke right through it, but then if you zoom in a little bit, you can see that it kind of bounced right here as well. It bounced off, and it went back up. Yeah, so you just want to make a bunch of these lines. So you want to go into the weekly starting off and make the bigger lines, and then when you get to more recent times, you want to zoom in and make more recent resistance and supports if you're doing a lot more short-term trading. so that you can see which points are good for buying, which points are good for selling, based off the last time that it broke it, or it broke that particular line, last time it went above or below that particular line. Um, so for example, what I would do here is, like I said, I started selling this because it bounced off of this line right here that I created. Um, a good time would have been to buy right here, because I saw that it kind of broke right through this red line at this point. It broke right through this red line and went up and hit this. So, I mean, you kind of just have to have an idea for that. It's really that simple. It's honestly that simple. These charts are all connected. They experience resistance and support at particular points in the chart, and we just have to keep an eye out for that. So, yeah, that's how you create short-term resistance and support lines.